Well, hello and welcome into another Zoot Booster, your weekly shot in the arm to help you build and grow your beauty and barber business. I'm so very happy to have you checking in with me for another video in this continuing series. And this has really become a way for many people to check in with my podcast who aren't necessarily podcast folk. A lot of people enjoy listening to podcasts, especially on the go, and yet there are still some folks who want to sit down in front of a device, a tablet, a phone, a laptop, and consume a video in this conventional format. So essentially what this has become is a video version of the podcast. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to seeing you hit that like button. I encourage you to subscribe. I want you to turn on your notifications. Never miss a video. And please, if you know somebody in the beauty and barber business who can benefit from the content that we're sharing here, send them a video. Share the video with them so they can get in on the weekly booster shot for their business as well. So let's get into it. We are at commandment number 9 in the 10 commandments of professional haircutting. This has been an ongoing series. We've got one more to go. We're closing things out. We're getting near the end. And this one, I like this one a lot. I had to include it. It was in my original draft of the original 10 commandment list. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite things about talking about this, and there's not a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fairly short video. But one of my favorite things is when I mention this in front of a live audience, people applaud. I say this and people clap and people fist pump and people say things like woohoo and people say things like yeah, what he said. Makes you want to know, doesn't it? Let's get right to it. Commandment number 9 in the 10 commandments of professional haircutting. Thou shalt not touch thy neighbor's stuff. Thou shalt not touch thy neighbor's stuff. Don't touch anything on another haircutting professional's station top. And by the way, a little bit later, I'm going to have Commandment 9b, the second half of this. And the second half of this is thou shalt not even ask to touch anything. Don't touch anything of mine. Don't even ask to touch anything of mine. And if there's such a thing as 9c, the third one is if I'm not in the shop, definitely don't go over and touch anything on my station when I'm not there, without me being there, without you asking, and without my permission. That's like a triple no-no. So, was this like 3 commandments? No, it's just one. Thou shalt not touch thy neighbor's stuff. It's pretty simple. This is good shop etiquette. This is basic expectations. This is respecting people's property, respecting people's space. It is professionalism. On time, ready to work with all your own tools and equipment. If you don't have your own tools and equipment, you're not ready to work. And if you're not ready to work, you're not on time. This cuts really down to the bottom line and to the core. No, you cannot borrow my trimmer. Get comfortable saying no, so these people will stop asking. No, you cannot have some hair gel. No, you can't just see my hand mirror for a minute. No. Have your own stuff, use your own stuff, respect my stuff, respect my space, and don't put me in the position of having to tell you no by just not asking in the first place. I always use as an example when I talk about this, when I get the cheers and the woohoos, I always say, does anybody here know anybody who works on cars for a living? Does anybody here know anybody who's a mechanic? Can you imagine asking that guy walking in the garage and say, hey, can I borrow a socket wrench? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it because you know if you did, you'd be chased out of that garage with some large, heavy weapon just for asking. It's such a violation of property and a violation of space. So don't put me in a position of having to say no. The other piece of this, by the way, and I throw it in here with this commandment, is no sharing. No shop tools, no collective tools that the owner or manager is paid for that everybody uses together. And the way I put this is real simple. A shop clipper is like a rental car. A shop clipper doesn't get treated like a clipper someone spent their own money on. A good, modern, $200 cordless electric clipper that you pay for, you're going to take care of like it was your $200. But a shop clipper, you know what they say about rental cars? They say drive it like you stole it. I drive a lot of rental cars, and I treat them pretty respectfully. But I know people who don't, who do things with rental cars that they would never do with a car that they had 84 months of payments on. Shop clippers and shop tools get abused, and then they don't work good for anybody. So I always discourage that. It's no sharing. It's real simple. It's straightforward. Don't touch my stuff. Don't ask to touch my stuff. And certainly if I'm not here, don't go near my stuff. Commandment number 9 in the 10 Commandments of professional haircutting: thou shalt not touch thy neighbor's stuff. Pretty straight up. Thanks for being here. I want to know what you think. Do you agree? And it's not about whether or not we're generous. It's not about whether or not we're friendly. It's not about whether or not we're working as a team. Part of working as a team is everybody paddling that canoe hard on their own, which means taking responsibility. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having me in for another episode in the Zoot Booster, the weekly shot in the arm to help you build and grow your haircut business. Let's get the conversation started. We'll be back with commandment number 10 next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.